Welcome to the Political Matrix News. Politics, people, local, regional, national news. Political Matrix News keeps you informed. We have the sources, we have the truth from inside the political matrix. Hey, welcome back to the Political Matrix blogcast. Rob Milford joining you from Orlando. Greg Fink, tell everybody where you are.
Over here in Gainesville, Florida.
Hiding out in beautiful Alachua County. There's a lot of stuff going on. We just try to hit the good parts. I don't know if anybody listened this afternoon, but son of a gun, Sean Hannity was not on his show today. Ron DeSantis filled in for Sean Hannity. I don't know if he was in New York or in Sean's house condo in Fort Myers or in Tallahassee or where. I have no idea.
In South Florida.
Okay, so he's probably down at WIOD in Miami because they carry Sean. And they've got nice studios in, I think technically it's North Miami at about 219th Street. But that's okay. Right. I had Rick Scott come to the radio station in Pensacola a couple of times. And, I even called the protective detail and said, okay, we just want to make sure, is everybody a coffee drinker? Does somebody like tea, et cetera? We brought breakfast in for them. And they were like, nobody ever does this for us. Okay. Well, hey, you're guarding the governor. And, we got him to hang out and talk to his scheduler so he didn't have to do 3 minutes and bolt out the door. So the fact that Ron DeSantis could take 3 hours, holy mackerel. You know who he interviewed?
Yeah.
It was Grady Judd, the sheriff down in Polk County.
Yeah, so I heard that in Polk County.
Yeah, and Grady Judd is real simple. If you steal anything, we're going to throw your ass in jail. You squat in somebody's house, we're going to throw your ass in jail. He's very consistent about that, and you know what? And the voters love that. So could you see Grady Judd being elected governor? I don't know. Donald Trump.
I don't think so.
Donald Trump feels like he played kingmaker to get Ron DeSantis elected because, very honestly, in 2016, Ron DeSantis was a decent, respectable, conservative Republican from the northeast part of the state. And 2 years later, he gets elected governor. Donald Trump did a lot of drum banging for that. And now, Greg, who does Donald Trump banging the drum for now?
It looks like he's going to be banging for Byron Donaldson out of Naples, Florida. He seems to be the one that the president is going after as being a new successor. And my only real advice with him is that he's friends with Matt Gaetz, and besides that, he's a pretty good guy.
Well,
all right, so it's going to be a really interesting race.
Hey, Matt Gaetz.
I know.
I was professionally friendly. Yeah, I was professionally friendly with Matt Gaetz, so it's. You got to be able to deal with people, work with people as best you can. So do you think that's going to amount to anything?
Right. No.
Okay.
I think Byron has a very long road to go to get statewide recognition. I think it's going to be a very big race. But then again, with Trump's endorsement, if he goes ahead and carries on the coattails the entire time of the presidential race, then that will increase his statewide name ID very quickly. Because Ron DeSantis was just a congressman from Jacksonville before, and then once the president endorsed him, he became the governor for Jacksonville, and that part of the state. And so I think Byron, his policies are really good. He's a good conservative. He's very fiscally conservative. He's morally a good man. I don't think he has a skeleton in his closet that we know yet about kind of like Christian Ziegler and the other RPOF guys who are decadent as hell and they're still in leadership. But and Byron seems to be a pretty clean, straight arrow. And so we'll see what happens.
Okay.
He's also very young.
That's not bad. 26 may not be his year, but who knows? 30 might be. We'll wait and see. A couple of other things are popping up.
We still have Jimmy. We got Jimmy Petronas running. We got
who really does want to run
running as well.
Yeah.
So and also Ben Sass from the University of Florida. There's rumors he might run.
And what does Ben Sass do at UF?
He's the president of the university.
He's new, so right? He came in from
him and Richard Corcoran. He's new. Nebraska. He was one of the senators who voted to impeach Trump.
Okay.
It's not a positive thing, really.
Okay,
But he's doing a great job as the president of the University of Florida.
well, he's been on the job less than a year at this point. Yeah, less than a year. No.
Yeah,
You
18 months.
you
Yeah.
can't come in here in 3 years and run for governor. Come on, really? Rick Scott had been here a lot
Well,
longer.
there's just a rumor about that.
Okay, good enough.
That's very true.
Couple things caught my eye. Trump campaign's rival decides between voting for him or Biden, and that rival would have been Nikki Haley, the last Republican candidate to drop out, who has been scoring 20% of the vote in the remaining primaries. She said Trump would be smart to reach out to millions of people who voted for me and still support me. But then they pegged her with a question and said, let's see. Let's see. One more thing. I'm just scrolling through this fast and furious. She was at a D.C. the Hudson Institute in Washington, and
Wow.
the comment pretty much was this. She thinks America is in grave danger. Is there any other kind? No.
Oh, it is.
And she said pretty much that that foreign policy, Trump wasn't everything, and a few extra whipped cream and strawberry, a little extra whipped cream and strawberry on the top, but he did a pretty decent job overall. But that Biden has been nothing short of a disaster for American foreign policy and how the world sees the United States. And she said that I, in fact, will vote for Donald Trump. So there you go.
Well, I agree with her on that one.
Yeah, she said Joe Biden's legacy is clear. He'll go down in history as the commander-in-chief who refused to stop our enemies. And, she's concerned 112 House Republicans voted against military aid to the Ukraine. Biden threw Israel to the wolves. And I mean, she very good quotable stuff. I always liked Nikki Haley. So there's that. And let's see what else we got here. A couple more that popped up today. A couple of things. Trump took great pride in the fact that he got a lot of federal judges done, because we're always short of federal judges. That's why the federal legal system is so slow. It could take years, as a matter of fact, to get a case
and they still
heard.
don't like him.
Well, at this point in his
he
term,
appointed, still don't like him.
He has appointed now 200 judges. And if you go year to year, so we're 3.5 years, 3 years and change. And Joe Biden just hit his 200th federal judge. And they're making, at this point in his term, he's done more than Trump did. Well, no kidding. Guess what? Trump did not have a loving U.S. Senate the way Biden does.
Yeah, or is there a big COVID outbreak that's killing millions of people, and shutting down the government right now?
They stress out more women, more people of color, more LGBTQ. What is the plus for? No one's ever explained that to me.
I don't know what the plus is for. I mean, in all reality, Joe Biden should have had 5 times as much done as Trump has had done, because Trump's had hardly any time to work when he was a president. I mean, he only really had 18 months of actual presidency to deal with. He had an entire government shutdown, entire national shutdown, and millions of people dying, and him being blamed for an entire epidemic and pandemic that was created by China. And it's silly ridiculous. And Biden's had nothing to block him, nothing at all. He has freaking clear sailing. Everybody's afraid of him. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and then
we have a feckless, Congress.
Yeah, they won't stand. And I'm sure Mike Johnson's a good guy, go along, get along kind of guy. I got no problem with that. But
he's good.
You can't herd cats. And when you have this extreme right, we don't want anything that the Democrats breathe on. So we're not going to vote for anything. That's kind of hard. Right. You kind of lose your 3-vote advantage real fast. Vivek Ramaswamy, politician, buys 7.7% stake in BuzzFeed, which is the parent company of the Huffington Post, or as Rush used to say, the Huffing and Puffing Post. And it's they raise questions about Ramaswamy's intent He's going to be what you call your activist
Really?
investor. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Corey bought the shares for just under $4 million. So makes him a significant shareholder. So that's very, very interesting. I don't have $4 million
So
to
we
buy.
might see them going back toward the right.
How about they're not
They
as left?
originated back in the 90s.
How about they're just not as left? How's okay?
Right.
I can go with that.
Ariana Huffington started out as a conservative, libertarian type of person back in the 90s during the whole Clinton impeachment and the Monica Lewinsky. I mean, that's when the Huffington Post got started, back with the .com boom and everything else in the 90s. I was a big fan of it.
And
but then
Matt
it just started gradually went left and they galloped.
Yeah. It was Matt Drudge, by the way, that made the Monica Lewinsky a household joke, which is unfortunate because I know people that know her, and they said obviously that failed her for life. But, she was a good kid before that. So there you have it. But there will be more politics to talk about, just not right this second. We're heading into the start of summer. Everybody's focused on the fact that Memorial Day is coming up. And now, what are we doing for the summer? Well, guess what, sports fans? Greg, when is the Florida primary? August the what?
Florida primary is August 20th, and we're going to have a blast here talking about Florida politics. But, I mean, we're going to branch out, and we're going to start talking about a lot more than just Florida politics throughout the summertime. It is going to be a field day of complete, my anticipation, political chaos.
We love it.
It's going to be interesting.
We thrive.
I mean, right now, we're going to see if Trump can even fly through all these 91 charges and be untouched.
Hey, listen, I heard, the defense rested after 3 witnesses. They rested on Tuesday. I think the judges, they got closing arguments whenever, and then about an hour or so of instructions to the jury. I got to tell you, they really have got. The defense really has got to be sure. And Trump sat there the whole time, didn't say a word, did not say a word. And it'll be very interesting to see what the jury does with it. Because don't forget, in some states, in federal courts, and in some states, the judges can set aside the verdict of the jury and do their own judgment and own punishment. That happened with we just mentioned these folks from the Branch Davidians in 1994, I think it was, in San Antonio and federal court there. The reason I know that is I was there. I testified in that case. And, a guy that was nowhere near the shooting went to prison, federal prison for 10 years. Didn't pull a trigger, nothing. No blood on his hands. 10 years in prison because he was a Branch Davidian. Wow. So we can only hope that a federal judge will do the same for Matt Gaetz when that time comes. I'm Rob Milford in Orlando. He's Greg Fink in Gainesville. And thank you for joining the Political Matrix blogcast.